So are you saying that if one of the partners is gaslighting, therapy can actually be harmful if it's not someone who can understand what's going on?
Yes. When you go into like a couples therapy, something's going on. I'm not really sure what's going on, but let's go to couples therapy. I, as the betrayed partner, walking on eggshells, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Guess who looks most dysregulated and like the identified patient in a couple setting? The betrayed partner. I am so tired of them being secondarily abused by a therapy mental health professional world that probably means the best, but they just don't know how to smell high levels of diabolical lying and manipulation and gaslighting, and then go, well, did you stop having sex with him after the kids were born? And maybe if you wouldn't nag him, we can talk about relational problems after we deal with the fact that your partner's been doing these lying, deceitful behaviors outside of the marriage.
That's right.
If you have experienced betrayal trauma from your spouse, you've experienced one of the hardest things a person can endure. This issue will affect you more deeply than you know. Being in a committed relationship to someone who is good at lying will wreak more havoc on your mind and your body than you even thought possible. From your skin issues to your weight gain to issues you might have with anger or emotions.
It leaves you in this paralysis, just brain splitting confusion. It robs you of your instincts, of your safety from connecting with everybody. I have betrayed partners who've been in and out of the hospital with pancreatitis, or they have IBS or other gastrointestinal issues. I have people who have fibromyalgia, which has kind of become this really blanket diagnosis for saying you're inflamed all the time, but we don't really know why, but you just are.
What can make this even harder is that your spouse and those around you likely have very little understanding of these effects that this trauma has on your mind, your body, and your relationships. The first thing you need to hear is this: you're not crazy. Your issues are real. And this episode is going to talk about them in detail, because this might be the most important episode of marriage health ever. Betrayal, trauma, and gaslighting can be the hardest things to walk through in your life, unless you have help. These are the Crafts, James and Terry. They don't know how the internet works, anything about YouTube, TikTok, or social media. And that's okay, because they know a bit about something else. Marriage. In fact, they've helped some of the most influential couples in the world. And they've also helped couples going through the hardest situations imaginable. The reason why James and Terry are able to help couples go through really hard things is because they've been through it themselves, and they came through the other side. The greatest marriage podcast ever. Marriage Health with James and Terry Kraft.
Today we are so excited. Well, I shouldn't say today, because that date stamps it, right?
No matter what day it is, it's still today.
It's still today.
You're right. We are so excited today. We have a dear friend, a colleague, a guru, is what we're going to just say right now. Kristin Snowden is going to be with us. Kristin Snowden is a love and sex addiction therapist, an adjunct therapist at Avalon Malibu, which is a treatment center that exists for substance abuse and mental health disorders. She's a writer, webinar host for relationship and sex healing. She has many online resources, by the way. Love all of her work. She is trauma informed. She has pretty much every certification that you can think of. Kristin Snowden is the real deal. She's trusted and safe. We're very excited.
The story of how I came to work in love and sex addiction recovery and betrayed partner recovery is I'd been a licensed therapist for several years. And actually, I was in my own marital crisis and had 2 little kids. And because we were separating, I had to get a full-time job really fast. And I had to have it be high enough pain. I got plopped into a men's drug and sex addiction program where everybody is
baptism by fire,
vomiting out emotion and manipulation and gaslighting. Like, I didn't even know what gaslighting was until I showed up and Rob Weiss started sharing this stuff with me.
Robert Weiss directs the sexual recovery.
And so I was trying to treat and show up as the clinical director of these addicts in recovery. They kind of open their mouths and lies come out and gaslighting and minimizing. And you just really have to stand strongly in your foundation of no, I know what my truth is.
Yeah.
I became really well versed at confronting distorted thinking and minimization, all those Freudian defenses that humans love so much, but really, really show up in the addiction model. You grow 16 thick skins. Not one, not two.
No.
5's not enough. They'll penetrate that.
Yeah.
So you need about 16. It
So
prepared
true.
me for my teenage daughter.
Yeah.
That
I
I
was
now.
gonna say, you're upset. You said something that was so good. You said, I had to hold on to my truth. And I think that's so wise, because when you're dealing with a manipulated or intentionally manipulated reality, it's like, what's the truth again? Truth? What's truth? What was it like the first time that you realized because you said, I didn't even know what gaslighting was. If you can recall, what did it feel like for you to connect with the first time with what is gaslighting and how it had maybe impacted you?
God, in between running the program, Rob would take teaching time to kind of educate me on, again, the 12-step model, how he believes it should be structured for recovering addicts. And then just the kind of the things that show up in an addiction relationship or dyad, right? An addict is they're acting out. How do they cover up their behaviors? Because again, as those who love addicts, we have instincts and intuition that something's off.
Yeah.
And we confront it because we say, you're acting weird. Something's going on. And so he says what they do is they gaslight. And I'm like, oh, do tell. What is this gaslighting? And I'm like, I'm fascinated. For work purposes. Definitely not because I'm struggling with the concept at all. I just, for my clients.
Yeah, exactly.
And their partners. For a friend. I'm asking for a friend. And so he said, simply put, it's when someone else tries to tell you that your reality is not your reality.
Right. Yeah.
They try to disconnect you from what your instincts and intuition are screaming out to tell you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Because we have a very sensitive survival nervous system that notices body language, nonverbal language, and we know when things are off. And one of the only defense mechanisms addicts have to cover up their tracks is to say all the things that you're thinking. You're crazy for thinking them. You are so off. Not only is it not light outside, it's dark.
And you're like,
and
blinking.
you're crazy. And what it
exactly.
really does is it knocks at your shame too,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Because I always say the two things that are needed to kind of fall for gaslighting, let's say, is there has to be a level of empathy. So you tend to kind of be an empathizer, but sometimes an over empathizer where I'll let your truth trump my truth. And then the other thing is I have to be shame prone, right? I have to be prone to say, oh yeah, I am bad. I am crazy. They must see those bad things in me and I'm so afraid. So I'm going to shut down.
right.
If you experience gaslighting, you don't need to feel shame. Almost everyone who experiences gaslighting or betrayal has a part of them that believes they caused the lying or betrayal, as if they're too codependent, too attached, too annoying. Nothing can be further from the truth. It wasn't a fight that went too far or something you said. You did not cause your betrayal.
We have to clarify that there's nothing wrong with having what you think is a secure attachment with your partner. You think that you're both giving each other the benefit of the doubt, that you're going to err on believing your partner's being truthful. You're going to be open to accepting his or her influence, right? That's the first thing that kind of will set you up to be gaslit. But then some other things will magnify it, right? Is that I will maybe over empathize with your situation and sell short what's going on inside me, right? Like I will say, he's obviously angry. I'll see some blocked phone calls on your cell phone, and I'll say, what's going on? I'm not comfortable with, why do you keep getting phone calls? You've also been dipping out on our relationship. You're getting angrier faster. What's going on? Right. So what I'm saying is my instincts are telling me something's wrong. There's something off. I confront you, and I'm going to assume you're gonna want to repair this rupture of me not feeling safe in this relationship, because that's what happens in secure attachments. I don't know at the time that you're a diabolical liar that's hiding all these secrets, living this double life. And so the gaslighter will come back and be like, you're crazy. It's just everybody gets blocked phone calls. No other person's wife is nagging them the way that you're nagging. And maybe if you wouldn't nag me so much, we wouldn't be having these apparent problems that you've made up in your head.
Right.
And that's the gaslighting. And so instantaneously, what does that do? It shuts me down because I'm stuck in a shame spiral of the person that I love now sees me in the way that I've feared being seen my whole life, which is someone who wants too much, who needs too much, not valuable, who's even, oh God, crazy. And then I want to quickly instead of empathize with my hurt, my pain, what I need to feel safe, I go, okay, I'm sorry that you're sad. Okay, let's fix this. What can I do to fix that? You're upset that I've brought up something that I'm upset about.
Right.
If you've watched this far, thank you. This might be the most important episode of marriage health we've ever created because these issues are so misunderstood.
Again, not to put down therapists and clinicians who are doing their best to help other people, but they might not really understand the nuances of sexual acting out behaviors, pornography use behaviors, affairs, and really understanding that the betrayed partner is in a total state of trauma. Complete dysregulation.
That's why we want to share this episode as much as possible. Everyone walking through this needs to see it. We try to stick to the rules with YouTube, and we aren't actually allowed to post the entire video on 2 channels. But again, this episode is critical. So if you click the link in the description, you can jump right back into the conversation at the exact moment where we left off on the Marriage Health channel. Thank you. See you soon.